Hey gang, by request that was both the solos to the song Maggie May, 1971, Rod Stewart. Now the notes to that one aren't that hard, but the slippery style of Ronnie Wood, who was the guy who was on guitar of Stones fame, that's a little bit tricky to imitate. I do have the tab if you want to message me. I'm happy to send it to you. But it's not really the notes on this one, guys. It's the kind of slippery style that does it. So we'll go over this note for note, but mostly it's going to be sort of stylistic lesson. Hey, as always, leave all your comments and suggestions, including what you want to hear, in your responses. All right, check it out. Okay, gang. Well, we will go over this note for note, as I said, but I wanted to go over the main theme and some of the stylistic stuff that's going on out of the main theme. And by the main theme, I mean, of course, this. That kind of stuff. All right? So the key thing is there's a couple of different hammer-ons and pull-offs, and there's a couple of different slides. So the first one starts with a slide. So this is all in D. Okay, so we're going to be playing things out of a D chord, out of an A chord, and out of a G chord. So this one right here we're playing on the 5th, the 7th fret, sliding up to the 9th, and playing the 7th on the 4th string. Okay, so it's, and then we're playing one of two different variations. The first is this hammer-on and pull-off sequence, and that's playing on the 7th, hammering onto the 8th, pulling off to the 7th, pulling off to the 5th, and then playing the 7th on the 6th string. All right, so that can proceed, or that can follow this. Okay, and the other one is to play that, and then okay, so this one is a slide from the 7th to the 9th on the 5th string, and then simply playing 7th, 5th, and 7th on the 6th string. And that's it. So those are the two things. Now, the important thing throughout the solo is to not let things ring out a lot, with a couple of exceptions. So we're not playing this. No, we're not playing that. We're playing. Right? All right. So here we go. Let's play here's the first solo slowly. Okay, first two times he really does that theme, so I'm not going to go over that again. So it's like this. All right, then he goes into this. Got to do that hammer from the 7th to the 9th. All right, that one's exactly like our little part of the theme. All right. All right, now here's the line. right, so that line's a little bit different. So this is kind of coming out of a D chord. So imagine you're barring the 7th all the way from the 3rd down, and you're playing the 3rd string and the 4th. All right, then you have this line. All right, so this one is just, you're playing the 7th on the 5th and 4th strings, hammering on the 7th on the 7th to the 9th on the 5th and pulling it off real quick, and then sliding down to the 5th, like so. Playing the 7th on the 6th, and then playing the 7th on the 5th and pulling up about a half step. I guess a whole step. And pulling off to the 5th, and then picking the 5th. Alright, so it sounds like this. Oops, let's try it again. Let's try that a 3rd time. Alright, the last line is sliding, that famous sliding from the 7th to the 5th, 7th to the 9th on the 5th string. Play the 7th on the 4th, and then the 9th on the 3rd, but you bend it up. You bend it about a half, and then pull off to the 7th. All right, so that sounds like this. All right, here's that whole line now. And give some vibrato to it to end. All right, so that's the first solo. That's it. All right, here's the second solo. Okay, so the first thing obviously starts out very, very similar, like this. That's the theme. All right. All right, so this one is simply sliding up from on the 5th string, 7 to 9, and then playing the 7 on the 4th, and hammering onto that 9th, and then playing the 9th on the 5th. Okay, so it sounds like this. And then you're walking back up. All right, so that one is just playing on the 4th string, 7, 9, and then 9, bending it up that half, and then playing the 9th. And that's just 7 on the 3rd to the 9th on the 4th a couple times. All right, here's the last part. All right, so that part is sliding on the 3rd string, 9th to 11th, playing the 10th on the 2nd. All right, and then playing that little bend on the 9th. All right, and coming down and playing the 9th and the 7th and the 9th on the 4th. All right, play that twice. All right, and then all right, so that little part is actually a pre-bend is going to work really well for you. So if you pre-bend that 9th a little bit, and then just pull down to the 9th like so. Okay, and then you're pulling off. And then here's your little bar across the 7th on the 4th and 3rd strings. And that's hammering onto the 9th on the 4th, I'm sorry. And that's your favorite 9 to 7 playing that 9th. Which is really leaving that open chord there. All right? All right, again. Okay, here's the third and last solo. That's it. And it goes into a little mandolin thing, and all is well with the world. Okay, so this one is just a little tiny bit different if you want to learn it note for note. But again, you can just easily play the... You can play the normal stuff. But just to note, it really is a little bit different. It really starts with this. So, that one's the regular slide on the 5th, sliding up from the 7th to the 9th on the 5th string, playing that 7th on the 4th, but then you play 9th, slide it down to 7th, it's on the 5th string, 9th, slide it down to 7th, play 5th, and then play 7th and 5th on the 6th string. So that's a little bit different. Again, I think you can just play the normal stuff and it sounds fine. Second line is likewise a little bit different. It's this. But again, it's so similar it really doesn't matter. You can check the tab for the precise differences. Alright, that's a little bit different. So first thing is it slides up 7 and 9 like usual on the 5th string. A couple of thwacks on the 4th string 7th. All right, so that one's just you slide up from on the 5th string 7 to 9. And when you play the 7th on the 3rd and come back to the 9th on the 4th, you got to immediately go to the 9th and bend it a half step. All right, here's the last part. Just as in the second solo, that's that slide from the 9th to the 11th, and then play the 10th on the 2nd, and then bending up that half step on the 9th on the 3rd. So this one is playing 10-10 from the 1st and 2nd strings. Alright, so this one is simply 10-10 on the 1st and 2nd. And then you're playing the 3rd, you're going to bend it up a half step, bring it down, pull off to the 7th. And again, you're playing that real kind of quick and pulling it off pretty quick. And then playing that same sort of pull, little bend on the 9th and then the 7th. All right, and the last part, so that's it for the main part of the solo. And then there's that transition when the mandolins start. All right, so that one's just a slide up to the 9th to the 11th, 9th to the 11th. And then you're playing the 10-10 on the 2nd and 1st string. Then you'll play 10 twice on the 2nd string. All right, and then you'll quickly slide down from the 11th to 9th and play that 7th. And then play that 9th again, bending up a little bit. And then on the 4th, 7 to 9, and finally 9 to 7 slide and play that 5th on the 5th string. And that is it. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you learned something. Remember, you can email me for the tab, and happy to send it to you. All right. We'll see you on down the road.